Hi, today we're going to be showing you an example of how we take down a cover crop. This is a buckwheat cover crop we sowed about a month ago, and as you can see it's blooming and it's ready to take down. We use no-till methods here on Bear Mountain Farm, and so what we do is, this is the last section of this one bed we've been working on, and I thought we'd just give you a demonstration of what we do. First we'll crimp it down just quickly rake it down with a rake, and then we'll come back and rake up any refuse that we have on the edges of the bed and pull it to the center. Then we'll put compost over the top, and after that either wet it down if it's necessary and then tarp it. So here we go. As you can see, it didn't take very long to knock it down with the rake. What we have on our sides of our beds is refuse from the last time we did an occultation that didn't fully rot. We typically pull that material off to the side of the bed, let irrigation water, the ground peeps, etc. work on it a little bit longer, and then we'll pull that remaining straw, we'll go back and pull that back to the center of the bed. Now it's ready for compost. That's all there is to it. For compost, we put on about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. This bed, we don't pull irrigation lines before we crimp. We simply crimp right over the top of them. This material is going to rot down in about 3 weeks at this time of year. It goes pretty fast. Soil biology is working pretty hard. And then once we pull it back, we'll put our winter cover in. And that'll simply be, we'll rake any excess at carbonaceous material that maybe not have rotted completely off to the side of the row. Use our earth waste seeder and seed in some hairy vetch and cereal rye. Do it pretty intense. And then about February next year, end of February, we'll tarp the bed at that point, and by about the 1st of spring, we'll be able to ready to plant our first spring crops in it. Rain in a few days. The ground underneath already has a fair amount of moisture in it, so I'm not too worried about things not getting enough moisture like they do in the summertime in July and August, the early parts. So we're probably going into a wet period over the next several weeks, so natural rainfall will percolate through the tarp and will help things rot. And what we'll do is we're going to show you how we put our tarp on, and that'll kind of end the lesson for today. So our next step is the tarp. Okay, this is the tarp we typically use. It's called geotextile fabric. It's just a nursery type ground cover. It's a poly weave, and it's lighter than say like a silage tarp, but it works for us for most of the year. During the hot months of summer, we sometimes have to double tarp. We either put a black plastic underneath it to retain moisture, or do a double tarp of the actual fabric itself. We've cut all ours to 6 foot wide by 100 foot long, approximately. This bed we're tarping today is about 65 feet, and so what we'll do is we'll just have the extra at one end of the bed or the other, and just put a sandbag on it. We keep things tied up in what's called I guess it's called a fireman's hose type, how they wrap their hoses. So it basically puts things in an accordion type manner. So once we move the tie down strings, which is just old baling twine, we position the tarp in front of the row, grab a sandbag for the anchor, and then we just walk down. Okay, what we have done normally is we're kind of a transition between using sandbags to totally anchor these tarps and just using a shovel to scoop some dirt off the side of the row. So sometimes right now, because we don't have enough sandbags to do everything, we're kind of in a transition where we have a bit of both going on. So what I'm going to do next is we have a northeast wind, kind of little breeze blowing this afternoon. I'm going to make sure that I take one of my last sandbags and put it kind of in the middle of this row, and then I'm going to go along the edge with my spading shovel and just scoop up a little soil and put it on the edge just to anchor it down. Okay, the bed's tarped down. And all we'll do now is just tie up the end, or loose end, so to speak, and then this project will be finished. Since it's already mostly in an accordion form, it doesn't take much to tie it up. Just take the two strings that we untied the bundle with, loop them around. Tie this in a simple slip knot just to kind of keep it from the wind from blowing these things around. Doesn't have to be pretty, just has to work. Looks like this string's about ready for replacement. Just roll that back up, make sure it's on the edge, sandbag over the top, and that's all she wrote. That's how we turn a bed over. Cover crop from start to finish for the whole 60 feet. Probably took 45 minutes tops. Thank you.